And we're live, Your Worship.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Clerk. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our special meeting of Council. Item number 1 is called to order, and 1.1, the land acknowledgement. I will look to our Deputy Clerk for that. Deputy Clerk.
Thank you, Your Worship. We begin our meeting by recognizing the First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples of Canada as traditional stewards and caretakers of the land. We acknowledge that the town of Wasaga Beach is located within the boundaries of Treaty 18, the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Tuanantati, Wendat, and is home of many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples as part of an intricate nationhood that reaches across Turtle Island. At this time of truth and reconciliation, we welcome the opportunity to work together towards new understandings and new relationships and ask for guidance in all we do.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Clerk. Megwish. Now moving on to item number 2, disclosure of pecuniary interests. I have none before me at this time. If at some point throughout the meeting a member of Council feels they have a pecuniary interest, please let us know at that time. And item number 3 on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. 3.1, recommended motion. Resolved that the contents of the agenda for October 30th, 2023 be approved as circulated. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, could I have a move and a seconder? Councillor Belanger and Councillor Timms, all in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Moving on to order of business. 4.1, the Twin Pad Arena and Library, TPAL, food concession lease agreement. Do we have anyone who wants to speak to this today? No. Oh, Mr. Deputy CAO.
Sure, Your Worship. Director Roos is here. If you wanted some particulars on the background of the lease at a high level, we could share that with Council if you wish.
All right. Anything to share that we don't already have, Chris?
Certainly. I would only outline that Council has seen the lease. We have a negotiated agreement with the leaseor, and Tim Hortons is expected to be approved today if Council wishes. There's been a negotiation that outlines a 5-year term that could be renewed 2 more times, and a number of terms are outlined now in the public report.
Thank you, Chris. I will just indicate that I did claim a pecuniary interest on this previously, and I will do that again today, and we'll back away from the table and not, I'll turn this over actually now to the Deputy Mayor to carry on with, and I will declare that pecuniary interest. So it's noted, Madam Clerk. Thank you. Madam Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll now open it up to any comments or questions from Council. No? Seeing none? Okay, I'll have a mover and a seconder. Sorry. That the report titled Twin Pad Arena and Food Concession Lease Agreement to the Special Council meeting of October 30th, 2023 be received, and that Council authorizes the Mayor and Clerk to execute a bylaw and lease agreement with K&J Trude Holdings, Inc., operating as Tim Hortons to operate the food concession located at the TPAL. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Councillor Belanger and Councillor Ego, all those in favor? And that carries. Thank you. Pass the chair back to the Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Mayor. And moving on to item number 4.2, the TPAL grand opening events. Questions, or sorry, comments on this? Mr. Deputy CAO?
Thank you, Your Worship, and I'll ask maybe Lisa and Josh to join me up front, and we can chat our way through this with Council. So this started out as a grand opening week, starting on February the 10th. We're looking at an alumni game with Jason Arnott. Of course, Jason won the Stanley Cup a few years back, and so bringing Jason back to town with his line mates to kick off the week. So that's underway with Josh having conversations with Jason Arnott and the Alumni Association. So that's underway. And Josh, maybe you want to give an update on that part of it, and then we'll kind of go through each one by one.
Have to talk. There we go. Perfect. Yep, so I've been in conversation with the Alumni Association and the NHL. We've had a couple successful meetings now. They are extremely excited about this opportunity to come to Wasaga Beach and open our brand new Twin Pad Arena Library. Jason was extremely excited to come home and do this event as well. We are working within a $60,000 budget for this portion of the event. So speaking with the Alumni Association, association. They seem fairly excited at the opportunity here. We do seem to have ample budget to pull 2 NHL teams off, with some influence by Mr. Arnott as well, to try and wrangle in a couple of his buddies and ex-NHL line mates. So as we continue to move down the process of firming up the logistics of the NHL event, we'll start looking at different ways to incorporate minor hockey and the community into how we're going to do ticket sales and swag and that kind of thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you. And then the next event would be on the Tuesday evening, which is the 13th, excuse me. So Lakehead University, we've got the MOU with Lakehead on the high school, so they're introducing themselves to the community early, and so they'll come with a lecture series. And the lectures on the climate and environment, and it's geared toward elementary and high school aged children, so that demographic. So that'll occur, and that's a free event on the Tuesday night. The Wednesday night sees our figure skating program, and that's with Elizabeth Manley and Elvis Stoico. And you'll see that figure skating is, we wanted that to be a free event, but you see we got a modest price point of $5. And the reason for that $5 ticket price was we've only got 800 seats, and we didn't want 3,000 people to show up for a free event that only has 800 seats. So the $5 no more than just securing a seat, and we can control how many people get in and make sure that those who want to get in, and not have a situation where we've got far more people than we have seats. So that's in place there. There is some consideration at this point to be firmed up with council is maybe the donor event would actually occur, celebration with the donors would actually occur prior to that event, maybe about 5:30. It's Valentine's evening, and then of course they come for that event and mix and mingle, get gratitude from council and from the mayor, and we have that official ribbon cutting, and then they could actually come and participate in the figure skating at no charge. So we're seeing how that would line up. Thursday and Friday of the week actually sees us work with the City of Barrie, been gracious neighbors, and so they're going to lend us their arena floor covering, and so that floor covering goes down onto the arena, protects the ice, allows us to put seats on that ice, allows us to put the stage on that ice, and so Thursday and Friday you'll see us lay that floor down and go in from there. Friday afternoon, Saturday morning, of course, we put the stage in, and so given it's a family day weekend, that floor will be down Friday, then down Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and they're not off the ice until Tuesday. So thus you see the 2 concerts Saturday and Sunday. If you're going to have the stage set up, you're going to have the floor in there, and you're going to have that ice closed for the weekend, you might as well maximize the opportunity. So we've talked to 2 iconic groups. It's hard for me not to tell you who they are, but they're well-known Canadian groups, and we've all been singing their songs and know every word to every song, probably for the last 3 or 4 decades. So they've been around. They're well-known Canadian royalty, if you will, music royalty, and so we're quite confident, that we can get them in. Those contracts are in place. If council approves, we can sign those up tomorrow and announce who they are by as early as Friday. We looked at the tickets across the province for these particular groups, and the tickets are going anywhere from the cheap seats in Belleville for the last 2 seats in the house, and you need binoculars to see the stage, was $110. We see the front row seats at $300 and $400 and $500. The arena's events are sold out time and time again. Our model, and we really wanted to make sure it was affordable and a price point that everybody in Wasaga Beach and surrounding areas could come and enjoy the concert. So we didn't want to price ourselves out of the market. Our average ticket price would be about $110. But if you think about it, if you did some simple math here early this morning, you could be 3 feet off the stage from this Canadian Idol icon for $160. So the best seats in the house, $160. The worst seats in the house, $50. So you've got that price point all in between. So everybody from different demographics, different financial status can enjoy the event and really break it open. So while we do want to cover all our costs and put some money in the bank, we're not trying to get it so high as to make revenue the main concern or main driver of this event. We think we can make some solid revenues. You can see that, if we sell 75%, of our targets, will net some $50,000 in profit. If we're 100%, we'll net some $225,000. Break even is actually, we need to sell 55% of the tickets along with the sponsorship. So, the numbers are achievable, and they're well within range, and we're quite comfortable with staff that we can move forward. I guess maybe one of the questions that may come up, maybe Lisa, is a little bit is, should council approve this? When would we start selling, and where would we start selling, and maybe how that would roll out. So Lisa, if you don't mind sharing with council how our thoughts are on that.
Welcome, Lisa.
Hi there, thank you for having me. We have the Christmas holiday market coming up November 24th, and we think that the first offering of tickets being made to Wasaga Beach locals at the market in person would be just an excellent marketing technique and a great way to reach our local community first. So we would go on sale with hard copy tickets November 24th to the 26th, and then everything else would be available online via ShowPass, which is the system that we used for our Memories of Summer concert with April Wine to sell the remaining of the tickets to the general public.
And did your worship speak with Carla through Sandra when she's got the communications rollout for this plan, is making sure that I often see that things are happening in Wasaga Beach, and we'll see it in Simcoe.com, and we'll see it in Collingwood today, but I don't see it in Barrie today or Aurelia today or Midland today. So we want to make sure that we broadcast and make sure that those tickets are available and those articles are well broadcast within a kilometer, 100 kilometers of us, and then of course beyond that with the normal undertaking. So from a staff perspective, we're comfortable, we're excited really. It's a great opportunity, and I would say that the arena was always built with this in mind. If you think about the power capabilities and the air conditioning and the cooling systems, events and concerts and cultural activities and events were always part of the grand plan for the TPAL. So this is us delivering to that plan, and I think this allows council for past this first event in February, we can then make evidence-based decisions on how many concerts we want to do per year. We'll know what it takes to roll out a floor. We'll know what our costs are, what our stage costs are, how to sell tickets. We've gone through all that learning exercise. So that's important for us to get in there, roll up our sleeves early to understand what we can and can't do with to leverage the TPAL. And, the other one is we're pursuing hotels, and we're knocking on hotels, and they're looking at us and, coming in with these two icons and sit down with the hotelier across the way going, by the way, look who's coming to town. It matters from an economic development perspective as well.
Absolutely. Thanks very much. Sorry, did you have your hand up, Lisa, to ask a question? No? Okay, good. All right, questions or comments from council? We'll start with Councillor Timms.
Thank you, Your Worship, and through you, I just have a couple of comments and questions. I probably received more residential communication on that report than any other that I've experienced yet sitting in council. I just want clarification that the 300,000 or 300,000 was originally budgeted within the 60 million TPAL budget. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah. So there's money within that TPAL budget to accommodate this, and the reason it's coming up is A, we're looking to get approval to spend the money from council, and B, because we have to approve a budget on an annual basis. The budget isn't approved by council for another couple of months. And so the reason we're here today is that to get this going, in the time to get it going, we need to actually secure those contracts tomorrow and actually make down payments for each one of these artists.
My mic is now on. I've received concerns from people in the community about the timing of the event, that it could be a big fail, weather permitting. I've received concerns about the competition with Snowman Mania, traditionally held at the Recplex at this time. And I've also, had people nudging me that the events should be free for the community, and if not free, that we should be asking people to donate to support the food bank. So those are some of the things that have been shared with me from the community. Also, I know that the events unit tries as much as possible to make sure that our events are inclusive of everyone, whether they can afford a concert ticket or not, even to the point with food available to people when they bring the kids to the event. So I'm wondering if during the week there will be any free opportunities for people to come in and look around and see the beautiful facility. Also want to make mention that it's the town town's 50th anniversary next year, and this is kind of a wonderful way to kick off a full year of events, which we're kind of hoping the community will rise to the occasion and join the events unit in creating a really jam-packed year of civic pride. I also have a question. The library events that is housed within that budget, that specifically comes from the original 300,000 budget for the TPAL? Because I did not see that in the library budget. Okay, thank you. Those are my questions and concerns, and if anyone can comment, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, through you, Your Worship, to Councillor Timms, thank you for those questions. And the report in front of you is really on the special events side of the conversation, which is where the money's being spent. From our Recreation Department library, there's all kinds of free events going on all week. So you see that money for the library, it's really about transportation to and from the TPAL to, picking people up, getting them to arenas. The library will be having school children in there throughout the day. Joss is looking at free public skating, free shinny, seniors on our track. So there's all kinds of elements to this that actually bolt on that are free and encouraging. And then in terms of the Ice Beam and the Snowman Mania, we recognize it was Snowman Mania week. And so the Monday, actually at the TPAL, because the floor end is all Snowman Mania all day. And maybe I get Lisa to speak what that day looks like.
Thank you for your comments, by the way. So for the past couple of years, we've traditionally done a pro wrestling and Superdog show as part of Snowman Mania. We've done that for about 3 years in a row now, so we think it's time to move on a little bit and take this opportunity to showcase what the TPAL space can do for the children as well as the adults here in town. So we're going to leave the flooring and the staging in, and Monday will actually see us hosting 2 concerts, one for a younger demographic, so children 1 to about 5, CBC performers called Splash and Boots. And later in the afternoon from 1 to 3, there'll be a full-scale Mini Pops concert, which is aimed at children 5 to about 15 years old. They sing, they dance, they do very clean versions of top 40 songs, so they're very, very popular. And those will have a very, very nominal fee to them. And we're actually trying to figure out how we'll do those performances in conjunction with the Snowman Mania button that people purchase, which is $3 each or $10 for a family of 4. So very, very nominal fee, but we're trying to figure a way to include the arena in the activities of Snowman Mania.
Thank you, Lisa. Councillor White?
Thank you, Your Worship, and through you to Jerry. Firstly, this is an amazing grand opening ceremony, judging by the report here. It's nice to see this department evolve so nicely with the changes there and with the growth in our community. You did mention about the figure skating, and I was just reflecting on a comment that I received from a member of the public, and your comment about overbooking or maybe having seats or just planning the attendance accordingly, and I think it's very bright to do it that way. My question would be then, and I know I'm putting you on the spot, I like to give you these questions in advance, but it just kind of hit me. Is there an opportunity, or even if you don't know right now, get back to me, about maybe live streaming this somehow through the town's website or somewhere? Because I do feel that we do have a big town. We have lots of things going on that weekend. As Councillor Timms had said, there's a Snowman Mania, and so parents and everyone's going to be busy with a lot of fun activities to do in our small town, and maybe can't quite get there, or maybe whatever reason would like just to see it from the comfort of their WasagaBeach.com website or something. I don't know. I just throw that out there to see if we can make it more available to everybody, because it's such an amazing event you have planned.
Through you, Your Worship, Councillor White. So I looked over at Director Roos, but I kind of got the nod that the technology there is for allowing us to broadcast. So I think we've got upload capabilities to broadcast, Chris, or do we have limitations that we need to resolve between now and then?
I did smile and
Yep.
nod, certainly, Deputy CAO. I would say to the councillor through the chair that in the past, much like the beach cam, we have had overarching camera at the arenas, and it is our intent to do the same in the future. I would say for the figure skating event, that may well work with copyright, but we would have to look into some of the details. Certainly, if this nominal fee is intended to control attendance, I don't see that big an issue, but we'd have to verify with the performers, et cetera. We do know that some of them are professional entertainers beyond their former figure skating careers.
So I can, Councillor White, check with Liz Mandy, who's setting this up for us, and I'll double check with her. My gut reaction is this is doable. I don't, Elizabeth and Elvis have just been nodding yes to everything we've asked. So I imagine the nod will be in favor, but I will get back to council on that for sure.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Belanger?
Yes, thank you, through the mayor. Some of the comments were already made, but is there a way that we could somehow budget where we're doing a tour on some of the days where it's, you know, every 2 hours, and we're formally doing a tour, and perhaps members taking the tour could get a free medium Tim Hortons coffee, and but we work something out. I do have some concern that this is an arena and library for all residents, and I think we really need to somehow build that in, that this is for everyone. This isn't for people that can just afford the concerts or whatever it is, and you know what the turnout would be, but if we had certain days where we're doing 4 tours a day and it show up and there's something in it for you, I think it sends that message that, you know, everyone's welcome. As far as the live streaming, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be broadcast to their home, even if we could broadcast it to the banquet portion of the T-pad and have extra seats set up and have it possibly a different ticket price, that type of thing. Again, it's when you look at 24,000 people, and, you know, we could probably cut that in half for the demographic that's really going to use it, but you know, it's going to fill up fast. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people disappointed. The other thought I had, is just having 2 concerts back to back. I see the benefits in that, but I also see the benefits in having them a week apart. But you know, given you have to put the boards in the ice, and given how many people will fill the place, we probably would have no problem. But it's doubtful that the same people will go to both concerts, but where they would maybe a week apart. But those are my comments.
Thank you, through you, your worship, to Councillor Belanger. So yes, I take note on your tours. I actually like that idea, and when I present it to the committee tomorrow, I'll steal it as my own, but it's a good idea. But we are, Councillor Director Ruse and I were chatting last week, and so assuming Council approves this today, we'll actually get a logistics meeting going this week, so we have all the players there. We have a site plan for the arena, we have building in there, public works, and all the players from our departments that need to be involved in this conversation. Dot the i's, cross the t's. I do know that from the library's perspective, Val Dickinson was spearheading the effort there, and you know, Val very much wants to have tours. So I saw Josh take some notes there. So when we meet, we'll pass on your thoughts to Val, who will look at that. And we're also looking at an Indigenous ceremony as well. We're looking at the other one's free. Of course, you have hockey. So what about card collectors up in the Rotary Room? So there's a lot of different ideas to get people in. So they will all unfold the next. I'd say we probably want to meet this week, and probably by Friday have a pretty good idea what that whole week looks like, and we can start to roll that out to the community.
All right, thank you, Thank you, Deputy CAO. Councillor Belanger, a follow-up?
Yeah, just to follow up, and again, I know having the boards in the, but we have an awful lot of local talent, and good local talent. Like, I mean, it certainly doesn't command tickets of $110, but I certainly understand that we want any profit that we have, that we start to pay down the arena. But I'm thinking if we had a period of time where the budget was very modest, and people could come to different shows at no charge or a very nominal cost. Again, I just feel it's really telling everybody they're welcome, and And I think it would be good with some of our local talent. And, we have regular bands at the Beacon, we have regular bands that play at the Fish Bar and the Gaiety Theater, and they're really good entertainment. And generally speaking, you're talking a couple $1,000s for the night. And so if some of that profit can really be used to be all-inclusive of our residents, it would be, I think, welcome. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Eagle?
Your worship. Thank you, Deputy CAO. Yes, some residents have written in, so I just have a couple of queries here. And one is, and this may have been addressed, I may have missed it and hearing all the conversation, and it is about the budget, and it reads, when the recreation events departments would have known of this last year, that the events for the TPAL grand opening would likely be scheduled, that I'd expect the department would have included associated costs in the department's 2023 budget. Were they in there, or is this coming out of there at all, or are we moving forward? Thanks.
No, it's coming out of the overall budget for the TPAL, and it gets approved on an annual basis, so it's coming, we're drawing down from that overall arena budget. Yeah, so it comes into this year's budget, and you would have said, we highlighted in version 1 of the budget as 300,000 coming out and 300,000 from reserves, then 300,000 being spent, but that's the first time we've actually had it in front of council. Now we've got firm numbers to put in front of you. Draft 2 of the budget will show the $463,000 spend. It'll show revenues coming in from sponsorships, and it'll show ticket sales to offset those costs to zero. So we won't be showing the net profit, we'll just zero it out as a zero budget, which means we have to sell about 55% of the tickets to zero it out. And then above that, everything else is, will go into a reserve for council direction.
Thanks for addressing that. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor. Deputy Mayor Snell?
Thank you, Your Worship. Very exciting. I've been a part of Snowman for a very long time in our community, like many others at the table, and to see it take this kind of evolution is awesome. I just have a couple of questions to get more detail, if I could. When we look at the budget, the expectation for the sponsorship is quite significant. Can you give some detail, please, in terms of what that plan is? Because sponsorship dollars are difficult to get, right? It's not easy right now. So if I can get some information on that, please.
Afternoon, thank you. We understand that the numbers do look very, very large, but I think they are incredibly attainable. The position of ourselves in the community as a retirement community, as well as a community aimed around young families, really does open the door for lots and lots of different industries who would be interested in sponsoring events to engage in market like Wasaga Beach. Ideally, we are looking for one large sponsor, so $50,000. Ideally, it would be a beverage company, so beer, alcohol, Coors Light, Bud Light, Labatt, something along that line that can come into the arena, sell their product as well as advertise at the same time. And with the talent that we're tapping, we feel like this is very, very doable just because of the brand name recognition of who we're looking to bring in. And then as well, I also aim to generate 5 local sponsors at $10,000 each. So whether it be a building sponsor or, a local business, real estate agent, I do think that's very doable. As with our April wine concert, we got a $10,000 sponsorship from a local business here, and that was with very short notice, so a longer timeline. With the backing and case graphics that we have with this, I very much feel that the $100,000 sponsorship goal is possible.
If I could, Your Worship, too, just to support, maybe just your mic, Lisa, to support that. So part of our strategy as well is to have Lisa dedicated to it. So with April Wine, all of us kind of took a shot, like Colin, Fred, and Joe, and so in this particular case, we feel that one person spearheading the charge on sponsorship dedicated to the cause will drive the results as well. So our plan is not to reach out and tap everybody, but actually get the information from different department heads and different people and who can sponsor. I'll harness that through Lisa, and then she will attack and deliver the results that we're looking for.
Parliamentary Deputy Mayor Snell?
Thank you, Your Worship. I have a couple questions. So with, to follow up with that point, would you feel it more secure financially to maybe really test that and see what kind of response you get, you know, because today's economics are different than even September, right? Like it's not, and I'm not trying to be a pessimist at all or to undermine your capability and sellability, because I agree with you, it's such a unique space, and Wasaga Beach is a great community to advertise in. But I'd like to see a plan where maybe we test some of that, maybe we get some of those dollars in before making a commitment to 2 concerts. Would be one of my thoughts. And one of my other questions is, have you considered putting the eggs in one basket and doing one concert versus splitting the risk, well, doubling the risk and potentially splitting the audience, or creating competition between the 2 events? Have you thought about doing just one versus both?
Yes, and one of the things with doing one versus both is your production costs weigh heavily on the one event, and so it changes the marketplace there as well. Plus, the 2 groups are attracting different demographics as well in the community reach. So we did look at that, but you know, we weighed that. But I think the plan of attack for 2 is the best path forward. And we also look at the sponsorship as the icing on the cake. We think the ticket sales will be such that the sponsorship is actually the gravy, not the meat and potatoes that we need delivered.
More here. Okay, that's great. I'm so happy to hear the confidence that you have in this event, and I stand behind you on that. Have you started to consider what the digital marketing plan is? Because obviously we're going to reach well beyond our own community to be able to fill these and sell these 2 events out. What's sort of the marketing plan, if you could please?
We have a very diverse marketing plan aimed at reaching people on a variety of different mediums, so everything from social media, radio, to print advertising. I think really targeting the publications that we're going to put our print advertising in based on the demographic of each concert that we're trying to reach. There's one that's going to be tailored a little bit more towards our retirement boomer community, if you will. So really reaching out and creating a human interest piece about how people have chosen to make Wasaga Beach their retirement community. And now that they're here, here's what we're doing to offer you an exciting and versatile retirement experience in this community that you've chosen. Not that you were born into, but that you chose to come to. So really tailoring where our message is going to in regards to each one of the groups is what we're really thinking about when it comes to marketing the 2 events.
And if I could, Your Worship, through to the Deputy Mayor, so the County of Simcoe is actually going to echo everything for us as well. So the County of Simcoe is going to engage their marketing machine to assist in advertising as well. So I chatted with them last week, so not only will it be coming from Wasaga Beach, it will be coming from the county as well.
Thank you. Funny you say that, because Mayor Smith and I were just chatting about our friends at the county and what can they do to help spread the message. So I'm really happy to hear that. To your point about the one concert earmarked more for an older demographic, do you have any concerns about how many snowbirds we lose in the winter? We probably drop about 2,000, I would guess, and that was my numbers back 10 years ago in terms of how many snowbirds leave our community for sunnier weather. Thank you.
I don't necessarily believe that the act is just for our snowbird or retirement communities. The artist that we're talking about right now is a Canadian rock legend and an inductee to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So it's not just for, an older audience who would know his music. It's for anybody who has a love of classic rock or just concerts and just is looking for something to do in those cold February months when not everybody is skiing.
All right, Councillor Belanger?
Thank you, through the mayor. You mentioned beer companies on the sponsorship, but I have for many years tried to gain sponsorships for the Blues Festival, and it's very frustrating that all of the major car companies that are not in Wasaga Beach, they do a lot of sponsoring in their hometowns where they're located. TELUS, Bell, Rogers, they all have our market. And Virgin is another one, quite a few. I think we can go after them with kind of a nice letter to make them feel guilty. But these companies have never invested in Wasaga Beach, but they take a lot of money out of our community. And I think it's time for an event like this that they pony up.
Actually, I'd say it's high time that we approach these people and get them into our community, Councillor, but it's a good point. Any other comments or questions? Councillor Timms?
Thank you, Your Worship. One of each. With respect to marketing, we also pay South Georgian Bay Tourism an annual membership, and that, I think, would also be a good way to direct some of our marketing collateral. My question is there an opportunity for some community engagement in this week of celebration through volunteerism?
Yes, absolutely. The more the merrier. When it comes to volunteerism, we would love to have more community engagement from our younger as well as older demographics. As part of the events team, we do an outreach for volunteers quite frequently, and our uptake is very low. I'm not entirely quite sure why that is. I don't know if the event's not exciting enough, but this, I think, will definitely be a bigger draw for those who are interested in coming to volunteer with us. And hopefully once you come in and see how much fun we're having the first time, we'll get you back again.
And if I could, Your Worship, through the Councillor Timms as well, we are looking at how to get our service clubs involved, and we've got an idea how that could look like, and we're just trying to decide what our best path forward is to help them get involved and help them generate some funds towards their charitable causes as well. So that conversation's on the table, just not finalized yet.
All right, any other questions or comments from members of council? Seeing none, I just have a few comments. I want to commend staff for your forethought in preparing for what is going to be a very exciting time in opening our new TPAL. I've said it many times before, although we may not all be happy with the cost of the TPAL, it's going to be a wonderful building. We need to embrace it and we need to bring it to life. And council and staff, I think we have an obligation now to our taxpayers to find ways to generate revenues outside of tax dollars to attempt to try and pay for, if not all, if we could, this building. And so I think that this is a great step moving forward. I think that we have an amazing opportunity here to become known for great concerts and great other venues that the people are going to want to see. There's some great comments and questions from council here, and I mean, we'd love to make everything free to everybody. Unfortunately, that's just not the way it is, but I'm confident that staff will have many things for our locals to do that will be free and be able to get out and see. But the big ticket items, you know, we've got to make sure that we're doing everything we can to cover that. I think it's very important to point out that this money that is being asked for here today is already in and has been in the budget for the TPAL from day one. Is that correct?
Yes, there's always been room in the budget for undertakings such as this. It's all kept. We're not going beyond the budget that exists today.
All right, so it's important to point that out, that this council is not throwing another $300,000-$400,000 to the wind here. It's already in a budget. And I don't mind saying publicly here that I struggle why, if we've already approved a budget, that we're now coming back and asking us to reapprove something that's already been budgeted and approved. It's there to be used for whatever it's there for, and we come back, and we've seen this on a few occasions, so we'll look at that at a later date, why we continue to ask for the same money over and over again. But I think that what we are doing here that is important is, although it is budgeted in that $60 million, what we're looking to do here is to find a way to recoup that so as that we can save it on the budget, and then generate revenue over and above that. And I think that that's very commendable for staff to be thinking that way. And I've said many times again in the past that we need to be thinking that way with many things as we move forward. So great questions, great dialogue here today, but I have one last question for staff, and that is if this was your money in your home, would you take the risk?
Yes, Your Worship, I would.
All right, good to know. All right, and sorry to put you on the block there, Jerry, but I agree. I think that if we do a good blitz and a good media here, that we can do this, and we do have to reach far and beyond We hear a lot of questions here today about Wasaga Beach and our seniors and the snowbirds leaving, but this is a reach far and beyond Wasaga Beach. And we have, especially this time of year, to Lisa's point, when there really isn't a whole lot to do. There isn't a lot of concerts going. There isn't a lot of excitement in the winter. If you don't ski, if you don't snowmobile, then, you know, it can be a long drawn-out winter for many people. So we've got far reach. We've got not only Simcoe County, but Grey County. We've got, as far as I'm concerned, right into the GTA that we can be reaching with this. And I think that's going to be the key, and I have all the confidence in the world in our staff that they'll do that. So if we have no other further comments or questions, I do have a motion here. Recommended that the report titled Twin Patarita and Food Concession Lease, item 4.2, recommended motion that the report titled TPAL Grand Opening Events to the Special Council meeting of October 30th, 2023 be received, and that the Council approve the TPAL Grand Opening Events as cost recovery program as outlined in the financial implications sections of this report. Any further questions or comments? I have a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor White, seconded by Councillor Eagle. All in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Moving on to item number 5, closed session. We have a resolution recommended that we resolve that pursuant to the Municipal Act 2001 as amended, the next portion of the October 30th, 2023 Special Council meeting will move into closed session to consider the following matters. 5.1.1, a meeting of council or local board or a committee of either of them may be closed to the public in the following conditions are both satisfied. The meeting is held for the purpose of educating or training the members, and at the meeting, no members discuss or otherwise deals with any matter in any way the materially advances of the business or decision-making of council, local board, or committee 2006 C32 Schedule A and 103.1 Section 329 3.1. And this is the town bus tour. Any questions or comments here? A mover and a seconder, please. Deputy Mayor Snell and Councillor White, all in favor? That motion also carries unanimously, and we'll now move into closed session. Want me to repeat that? All right, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back. We've now come out of our closed session meeting into open session. We've done our bus tour, and we'll look to our clerk for a rise and report. Madam Clerk?
Thank you, Your Worship. Council met in closed session at 3:43 p.m. pursuant to Section 239, 3.1 for a council education session. As a result of that meeting, there's nothing further to report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and I'm just now going to pass the chair over to Deputy Mayor Snell for the first resolution with respect to the Twin Pad Arena, and I'll push away from the table here as I have a pecuniary interest claimed on this.
Thank you, Your Worship. A bylaw to authorize the execution of a lease agreement between the Town of Wasaga Beach and K&J Trude Holdings, Inc. at 544 River Road West in the Town of Wasaga Beach. Are there any comments or questions regarding this motion? Seeing none, a mover and seconder. Councillor White, Councillor Timms, all those in favor? And that passes unanimously. Chair is back to you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Mayor, and we now have a second resolution recommended that a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Corporation of the Town of Wasaga Beach at its special meeting held October 30th, 2023 be passed. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, a mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Timms and Deputy Mayor Snell, all in favor? That motion carries unanimously, and this meeting is adjourned.